Hey everybody, your pal Donnie Dow here. Today I am on Evansville's east side and got a bit of a mystery for you. So this little strip of road I'm on right now is known as St. Patrick's Court. It was platted out and developed in the late 90s, and it butts up to other neighborhoods, which if you've watched any of my videos, I find just absolutely fascinating to see how developments came to be. Behind me, actually in front of me, behind you, my viewer, oh my gosh, camera's getting lost on me. This area back here, past that fountain, um, is woods. However, it's completely platted, and there are 23 building lots back in those woods, and they were never developed. And I have some theories as to why, but I don't have all of the details. So, if anybody watching knows a little bit more about this and wants to share with me, I would be delighted because I know a lot, but I don't know all of the details as to why this was never developed. But I think it's really cool. These homes here on St. Patrick's Court were, like I said, developed in the late 90s. So you have an amalgamation of styles. But these are nice homes, and they're well maintained. Most of them have brick facades with vinyl around the other three sides. Um, so these are great family homes. But wait till I show you around the other sides of those woods. It's pretty cool. So the next part of my mystery begins here in Clayton Terrace. So this is a neighborhood close to Kay's School off of Green River Road. And you'll get to see one of my favorite things, which is the end of one development, the beginning of another. So this was built in the late 50s. Nice, modest homes, but quality builds. Offered a lot of things that people wanted: three beds, usually one, sometimes 1.5 baths. Okay, so see this utility pole and this fence? This is where it changes from Clayton Terrace to Dratch Terrace. And it could be Drake. It's D-R-A-C-H, so I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced, but at any rate, so that was platted just after Clayton Terrace was. However, it wasn't built on, it wasn't developed for a long time. In fact, it was the late 90s when these homes were built, most of them. So at any rate, so now we're here on Omer Place, and you can see some of the hallmarks of the late 90s, like that home right there. Nice homes, affordable homes, but much more a 90s build. So here's what's really interesting to me. So when we get here to the end, there are two lots that around the year 2000 or so were combined together into one lot. And this family had lived here for a long time. Presumably they still do, I'm not sure. But at any rate, they put these two lots together. And then in 2013, when all of the woods back there was auctioned off at sheriff's sale because of default that we'll get into, these people ended up buying all of that too. And they got a great deal, presumably. The bank that foreclosed at $161,000. It looks like they picked it all up for $20,000. So that's pretty amazing. But what they did was they combined this house here and then built this pole barn over here. And like I said, just combined the two lots together, so they had one large lot, and now they've got all those woods back there. And boy, I'm curious. I just really want to know what's going on with that. And here we are now on Kenmore. Again, this is part of Clayton Terrace. And it's a welcoming committee back there. I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking. Dogs love me so much. But at any rate, okay, so here we go. We're on Kenmore, and we're getting to the end of Kenmore. And what was supposed to happen was Kenmore was supposed to connect to Drake Terrace. They ended up doing a cul-de-sac, so then it was going to connect to Greenwood Terrace. And Greenwood Terrace is the mystery subdivision with the 23 lots that just never got developed. There was a company called Gent and Drew. They built some spec homes, and they owned the property, and they were presumably going to develop it as a little neighborhood. That didn't happen. The 80s were rough on a lot of builders, especially the early 80s. So by 1981, they were done. And it was, I mean, this was platted in 79, so their plans came to a screeching halt very quickly. Incidentally, I think that has something to do with the other homes not being built until the 90s, because mortgage interest rates really didn't come down to a more affordable level until the mid 90s anyway. So then it was more attractive to build homes to sell, because they would most likely sell. But here we are. These woods were supposed to be 23 home sites, and it has sat vacant since 1979, presumably before, but that's when it was platted, was 1979. And most likely it's never going to be built on. I honestly don't know. The people that own the house that I showed you earlier at the end of Omer Place, I don't know if they have any plans whatsoever to build on any of this. There are some lots owned by a local real estate company at the end of St. Patrick's Court that possibly they might want to build, at the end of Omer Place, the other end. And so presumably they may want to build on it, I'm not sure. But at this point, you have these building lots, and it's a mystery as to why they haven't been built on, and it's a mystery as to what happened after Gent and Drew went bankrupt and had some properties foreclosed upon. It's a mystery. If anyone knows any of the Castellanos, they owned it up until 2013-ish, I think, somewhere in there. So if anyone has any information about this, I would love to know more. That's it for today. See ya.